2. All right, welcome everybody to another episode of the Darrin Horn Show. This is the first ever edition in front of a live audience, so thank you all for showing up here tonight. Coach, I think when we were wondering how to do this and how this was going to work out, we weren't sure what to expect in terms of fan turnout, but this is a pretty great crowd, and it's awesome to see this many fans excited about Norse basketball here in July.
No, it really is, Rick, and I think, that's what makes this place special, right? Basketball matters here, great support, and, even though it's summer and the season's a long way off, we don't take lightly that every time we walk in this arena to practice or work out or whatever it might be, that, I look up at those banners from the other tunnel and see names like Winstall and Shields and understands what that means and know that we're really standing on their shoulders, and the goal is to raise banners here, and the reason we've been successful doing it is the commitment at this place and the great fans that we have. And so it was great to be able to interact with them in the summer and get a little sneak peek at the team, and it feels a little bit like November today.
It does, and I know it's a weird time of year for everybody. There's people on vacation, so if they weren't able to make it, hey, if your friends aren't here, go and tell them. We want them here when games start in November, and it's going to be a great atmosphere this year. But I think just more than just doing this show and letting the fans in for one day in the middle of the summer, there's a little bit different feel around the program in general in terms of the level of access that you want fans to have and the engagement between the program and the fans. And part of that's because the sport is just changing.
It really has, right? I mean, everything about college basketball has changed, and I think there's a lot of that people, especially folks my age or older that have been following basketball for a long time, they don't love that part of it, NIL and the portal and all of that. And so we do have 9 new guys, and we think we have great guys that are going to represent our program well, not only as players but as people, and we want our fans to have access to them and to be able to interact and try to get to support them, because in some cases it's kind of a 9 or 10 month sprint, right, for these guys. You're not going to get to know them as freshmen and sophomores and juniors, and that's it just kind of is what it is at this point, and so we want to make sure that our guys get as much opportunity to interact with our fans and our fans as well, because again, that's a big reason a lot of them are here, right? They know the kind of support we have, what it's like on game night in Truist Arena, and so we think that's really important.
Now, the fan engagement has already been fun this summer. We've seen it at some different fundraising events, and then you have this here tonight. And then one other thing that we've been cooking up for fans, last year we launched the Darrin Horn Show on television on FanDuel Ohio, and it was fun. We did a lot of interviews. We talked to Coach Ken Shields. We talked to Hall of Famers like Brennan Stowers and Drew McDonald, and it was a lot of fun to do that, but we also felt like we want to keep the focus and shine the spotlight on the team and the guys that are on the team. And it's hard to do that when you're doing interviews that are coming out at different times and all of that. So a little bit to change this year. People might have seen during practice, we're in huddles filming. The idea is to kind of give them more access to the team, a behind-the-scenes look at the team this year on FanDuel Ohio with the Darrin Horn Show.
Yeah, no question. I think people want to see what practice is like and what it takes to get a team to game night and what that process is like, and that's the fun part of this, right? And so, and again, with a bunch of new guys, we want people to get to know our new players as quickly and as well as possible, and so there will be a lot more of that coming out, and I think it's going to be pretty exciting and fun for people to see.
Well, you are in your 4th week of summer workouts here. I believe the way it works is you get 1 hour or 4 hours of a week on the court, 4 hours a week off the court in the weight room for strength and conditioning, and you get that for a total of 8 weeks during the summer, right? So you're almost to the midway point?
We are, and everybody's structures are different. I've heard everything from a couple weeks on, couple weeks off, to some people don't even use all 8 weeks. We do 4 weeks on. Give them a break always around July 4th, almost a week break, and then bring them back and do 4 more weeks. That way they also get some time in between the end of the second 4 weeks and the start of school. And, for us, this is a huge time, not just because of the basketball and all of the new guys, but the weight room is crucial for us. I've said multiple times publicly, our approach to our weight and strength and conditioning program is at a Power 4 level. the way we work these guys, the science that we have, the equipment that we have. We feel really confident that our guys are getting here what they would get if they literally went anywhere in the country, and including Nate Amin, our trainer, and our strength coach now, Max Johnson, who's in his first summer with us, who came from Auburn, has been at a high level, won a lot of games last year, and knows what a real athlete looks like. And so that's a really important thing for us. So in a lot of ways, that conditioning and strength training is almost as important as the basketball in our mindset because of the development that's needed for our players.
Well, if you're here tonight, you're into NKU basketball. You want the real, what's going on. So there's a lot we could talk about the first 4 weeks, I'm sure. But give me just one thing that stood out to you about this team so far.
I think the biggest thing is hopefully what you saw tonight. These guys are working really, really hard. The effort has been tremendous, and our athleticism is definitely at a different level. We have a different level of athleticism and length, especially on the perimeter. I've just kind of felt like from a personnel standpoint, Rick, if we've had a weakness the last couple of years, it's been length and athleticism on the perimeter, and we've definitely addressed that. In spades at every spot. We're still not 6'10" and 250 inside, but you look across the perimeter and it's a lot of 6'5" and above, and we think that's really going to impact us, especially on the defensive end, where we're going to be able to turn up the heat and the pressure a little bit, we hope.
Yeah, you mentioned the defense, and when I think about your program and the commitment you've had to a system, it's really, I think about the defense first and that style of play. How difficult is it for new guys to pick up your defensive system?
It's not easy. We have learned in the recruiting process, if you're going to play for us, you got to be able to think on both ends. And so, that's part of the analyzing when you're going through the recruiting process as well. But being long in athletics sure helps you make a lot of plays on the defensive end. And so we've started with the core foundation. A lot of people, because our defensive is unique, think that it's like this magic formula or this pixie dust that we throw out on people. And really, like all defenses, it starts with guarding the basketball, all right, and then grabbing the basketball at the end of the possession. So most of our foundational stuff this month has been that, and not a lot of the details come with the defense, but we will get into that in the second 4 weeks.
It seems like the defense typically ramps up as the season goes on in general with you guys. You get tougher, you get better, the chemistry improves. When you have 9 new players, do you think that that's even more so the case coming into this year?
It could be, but we also might be able to make a few more plays that we haven't made in the past as well. And so, our emphasis has been on that in large part so far this first 4 weeks because, we just feel like that gives us the best chance, as the offense catches up, as the season moves on. And I think, the biggest challenge with the way we play defensively is within a framework and some principles, we're trying to get guys to be basketball players and make a lot of plays on the defensive end and steal the ball a lot. We've averaged in 6 years here being top 30 in the country in steals. That's all of college basketball. That's every Power 4 school and everybody. And so that's our number one priority. And what comes with that is actually the confidence and the freedom to see some things and go make some plays. And that's the part that takes the longest is them building that confidence in themselves and each other.
You have 2 true freshmen with you currently on the team. We'll talk about a couple other guys that will join you later this summer. But Ryan Tolliver and JJ Apatjang, the fans saw them out there tonight. They made some plays. What's it been like for those guys adjusting to the college level here?
First couple of weeks, like it always is, brutal for them physically, like walking around really slow, having a tough time getting through some things. But I think, the people that were here tonight saw 2 guys that kind of just go play, right? The thing that I like most about Ryan and JJ is they're players. They think they're good. They're going to go out and compete and play, and I think all the basketball and the physical things that need to develop will come. But I don't think we're ever going to have a confidence issue with those guys, and that's a big part of this, right? And so really been pleased with how they've adjusted in a short period of time.
Now you have 2 international players who have yet to join the team. One is a point guard, Ethan Elliott. The other is a big man, Juanma Ruiz. When do you expect them to join the team?
Probably not until school starts. We had some hopes for Ethan, especially from Australia, that he might make it for the second session of summer workouts. But just the process of getting all the paperwork that you need with visas and all of that kind of thing for a foreign student probably will be in the fall before both those guys get here.
And then already tonight, I've had a few people come up and ask me the buzz, what's going on with Sam Vincent?
Yeah, that is the buzz, right?
Yeah, that's the question I keep hearing.
I agree with you, by the way. I would say this, it's not dead yet. We're still in the process of going through the process of trying to get him eligible. And we've had tremendous support from our compliance officer, Kristen Rogers, and our athletic director, Christina Roybell. They've been unbelievably supportive and helpful in this process. And so, I think that there's still an opportunity there for it to happen. I don't want to put any numbers on it because, like a lot of stuff with the NCAA, I have no idea, but it's not dead yet, so we're going to keep hope alive.
All right. Well, we want to open it up for fans to ask some questions here, do a little Q&A. But before we do that, let's bring up one of the players, Sean Nelson, talk to him a little bit about what's going on with this team.
Yeah, so you think we'll get the truth out of him?
We're going to try.
All right,
Sean,
come on up, Sean.
Join us.
Let's give him a hand while he's coming up.
How you guys doing?
All right. Sean Nelson from Miami, Florida. He transferred from Barton College, Division II. Sean, first of all, tell us a little bit. I mean, fans got to see a brief glimpse here tonight. Mm-hmm. But tell us in your own words. Describe your game for us.
I think my game is like downhill driving. I've worked on my shot a lot these past 3 years, so I also know I could hit the catch and shoot. I think I could play make as well. So, and Coach Horn probably likes this, but I think I play pretty good defense as well. So I think I could do everything all around in terms of affecting the game and stuff like that. So yeah.
Coach and I talk a lot about how the sport has changed and how, people don't love the transfer portal, NIL, and all of that. But you get in and you see these guys, you meet these guys, and I think you're the perfect example of a guy who comes in and is everything right about college athletics and a guy getting his opportunity to play at the highest level.
Yeah.
When you were going through the recruiting process, making the jump from D2 to D1, what made you want to come to NKU?
So nobody knows this, but this was my first visit, and I committed right on the spot. And honestly, I just felt the love from just the fans and my LJ, the returners coming in. I just felt the love, and I had a couple other visits lined up, but I just knew this was the right fit, so why wait? So I just felt just the fans, the engagement that I've got, and just the love from the returners was definitely a big reason why.
You get to see this beautiful arena, and in terms of the Horizon League, when you're on your visit, I imagine that stands out. But have you heard the stories about, time like when they played Cincinnati here and this place was filled and rocking? How much did that mean to you when you were on the visit, hearing about that experience?
Yeah, I know this is a winning program, so that's why it was kind of no question for me. I know that, this program is just built to win. So that was just a big, decision for me, just trying to win, not just trying to go somewhere. I know this is my last year, so I know that they beat Cincinnati, and I know probably the odds were against them. So I know this is a winning program, and that was a big reason why I came here.
All right, now Coach mentioned trying to get the real from you. So here's the thing: we're gonna put you on the spot a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
These fans here, they came out tonight because they're really into NKU basketball. They want a little, give us the scoop. Come on. So open it up for us. Who has stood out on this team through the first 4 weeks? Who's made you go, wow, this dude can play?
I'm gonna be honest. I definitely think just coming from a D2, the transition is just crazy. There's no, to be honest, I don't think there's anybody bad on the team at all. I think everybody has something special to them. I can name a few that kind of shocked me. I think that our guard Dio, Donovan O'Day, great ball defender. He guards me most of practice, so I get to experience that hands-on. So he's very physical, and it's something that I've had to adjust to. I know the transition from D2 to D1 is so different. So just playing with LJ and Kale. Kale's also another D2 guy. But just their size and being able to move how they move, that just doesn't happen back where I was playing at. So I think that's been the biggest shock to me, guys like LJ, they just move like guards and just kind of have the athleticism as well, and Dio to kind of slide his feet and kind of be strong as well. So I think those were the biggest shockers for me.
That's good stuff. Coach, your thoughts on what he said there?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of the jump, right? And one of the reasons we were so excited about Sean, we targeted him. This was our first recruit, not only because of his ability, but his approach, right? Everything that you heard about him from all the people that you talked to, and these processes are really quick now. Used to, you recruit a guy 2 or 3 years, now you do it for 2 weeks. But everything was about the kind of worker that he was about winning, that he'd improved every year. And then you look at his numbers, and he said it. This is a guy that defends, too. Not only has the physical capabilities to do it, but his committed to it, and his steal numbers were fantastic. And so, we think we got a guy that's a complete guard at our level, and one of the values and having, as he said, so many guys that can play and such great athleticism is these guys are going to get better every day playing against each other. And we've already seen a big jump in this guy's game, and really excited about him and really happy to have him.
Great stuff from both of you. All right, first of all, give it up for Sean Nelson, everybody. Really appreciate him coming up and doing this, putting him on the spot like that.
Good.
All right, anybody have questions for us? We'll take a couple of questions here, Q&A from the fans. If you want to ask anything from Coach. All right, Alex?
Coach, you got the team basically a whole new roster, so what was the thing you were looking to improve most with this new roster?
Yeah, as I said earlier, Alex, I think, length and athleticism. And of course, you got to address needs from where they were lost. Kel Robinson was a huge priority for us because, losing guys like Trey Robinson, one of the things we've really learned playing the way we want to play on both ends is you need that versatile guy like L.J. Wells, like Trey Robinson on both ends for us. So Kel Robinson was a huge priority because of that. He's so skilled but has great size, can play in and out, really high basketball IQ. But I think just improving our depth where we feel like we can go deeper into our bench and maybe have a deeper rotation. And so far, it looks like we have a chance to do that. And as Rick touched on, still got a couple guys that aren't here, and hopes of maybe Sam Vincent back. So practices are maybe where we should be charging admission for tickets, because I think they're going to be pretty fun to watch this year.
Anybody else? We got any questions up there?
Yeah, and I think that speaks to the depth that I just touched on, because the more guys out there that can do that, the more you're going to look that way. And again, the recruiting process is really quick now in the portal. It's a couple 3 weeks max. We've had a few that have been 48 or 72 hours. So we rely heavily on analytics and film as well. I think Tay Dozier's a good example. He's an NAIA transfer, Kentucky boy. From Louisville. A couple things stood out from him as an example. Besides the fact that he's 6'5" with like a 6'8" or 6'9" wingspan, this is a guy that advanced deep in the NAIA national tournament every year. He impacts winning on both ends. And he's got some really unique numbers stealing the basketball and blocking shots from the guard position. And so, there's a guy that you feel like can really make a lot of plays to impact a game. And so I think when you look out and see, it looks like there's more movement, looks like there's more athleticism. Tay Dozier's a good example of that, and there's a bunch of those guys. Sean touched on Donovan O'Day. He may be as athletic as any perimeter guy we've had since I've been here in terms of running, quickness. He's physical, can really take some blows and deliver some defensively as well, and he can really get above the rim and do some things as well. And so, athleticism was definitely a big focus in the recruiting, and hopefully it's going to help us play better in transition, be better defensively, and be much better on the glass.
Coach, you opened in Tennessee this year. Can you talk about any new non-conference games you got coming up scheduled?
I wish we could. I'd like to be done. We do have the game at Tennessee, which I think they've announced already on November 8th. That'll actually be our second game. The season opens that Monday, which is, I think, the 4th. We're still in the process of trying to get the schedule together, trying to do a better job than I've done in the past of balancing not only home versus road, but kind of the structure of when it happens. Last year we opened on the road in the ACC, at Purdue in the Big Ten, come home for a team that's picked in the top 2 in their league, and then have Cincinnati at home. Just trying to spread those out a little bit. We do have Charleston at home this year, who's always really good in their league, one of the better mid-major programs in the country consistently. And so, we think the schedule will be really good, but still in the process of trying to get some of those games worked out.
Coach, I was wondering if any of your former players are playing internationally professionally. Have any of them moved on to other across the sea or anything?
Yeah, that's a great question. How many of our guys are playing overseas professional? We got a bunch at this point. Chris Brandon is playing. He's in Australia right now, actually. Their season is a different time frame. Started the year in Belgium, I think. Now he's in Australia. Trayvon Faulkner's team played for a championship. I mean, it doesn't matter what that kid's doing. All he does is win, help his team win. He played for a championship this year. They lost in the finals in France. Xavier Rhodes is still playing as well. Jalen Tate is still playing. I'm leaving somebody out. Walt got hurt, did not play this year. I feel like I'm leaving somebody else out. But, yeah, we've got several guys that are playing overseas, and that's the goal. And, you know, one of the things that's kind of accelerated that process, part of our development here has always been preparing them to be professionals and what that means, right? How you conduct yourself, how you work, being able to go in, not know the system, the coach or anything, and fill a role. And be able to do that professionally speaking. Well, now these guys are getting paid, so they're professionals right now. So we're helping speed that process up a little bit. But we're really proud of the development of our guys and our program and the fact that they've done well overseas. You know, the thing about playing professional basketball that's so unique to a lot of other things is that you can't go back and play professionally, right? You can go back to get any degree you want or change careers or you know, whatever, but it's hard to go back and play basketball. So we really encourage these guys, if they've got a love for it and want to do it, to chase it. And we've had some guys that are having some real success.
All right, Coach, wrap it up with this. Last thought here. LJ Wells, Dan Goretzker, both of those two guys watching them here tonight, I think everybody can see you're going to rely on them pretty heavily. But they're also incumbent players who know your style. You're asking them to step into a leadership role. I think both of those guys are naturally a little bit more soft-spoken, a little bit quieter. How is that transition for them, stepping into a leadership role gone?
I mean, it's a challenge, right? Because as you said, it's not something that comes to either of them, you know, naturally. And so we've been challenging them literally daily to make sure they're doing that. And that starts, Rick, with their play, right? Being consistently at a high level themselves. That would impact our team and winning more than anything, right? But then also understanding that they do have a responsibility to help these guys that are learning, you know, kind of figure some things out and bring them along. And so they've both responded really well this month and had great months in doing that. And you know, the thing about it is, and it's hard sometimes to get players to understand this and buy into it, but, you know, that's only going to help you be a better player. You know, the better you can do a job of that, the better you're going to play yourself. And so I think we're starting to see some of that from LJ and Dan. And, you know, again, a lot of people get disgruntled about how the game's going and how many new players and all of that. But, like, there aren't a lot of teams that have two starters back that, you know, are as good as those guys with the experience level they have. And if Sam were to get eligible, a third. And so, you know, we still count ourselves pretty fortunate to have those two guys with us and are excited about all the new guys that we talked about and that everybody saw here tonight.
No question. Well, Coach, thank you for doing this first and foremost, but also we want to thank all the fans that came out tonight. I mean,
this was great.
This was really cool to do. We didn't know how it would go, but to see all of you guys here and excited about this, it's awesome. It's cool for the guys. You're giving them a great experience, so thank you for that. Two other people that we definitely need to thank, Madison Garrett, for getting all this together, getting it all set up. She is a warrior. She is a force of nature when it comes to NKU basketball, and we're thankful for her. And then our guy, Bill Farrow.
Bill.
We could not do anything here when it comes to this without Bill. So thank you so much to him for setting this all up as well.
Absolutely.
All right. You've been listening to another edition of the Darrin Horn Show right here from Truist Arena in front of our live audience.